One day, an incredible incident took place in India. A mother elephant was standing in the middle of the road, attacking people and crying. The villagers were baffled, unable to approach the elephant or figure out what to do. However, when they decided to follow her, they encountered something truly astonishing. Nematun village, known as the heartland of elephants, was home to hundreds of these majestic creatures. Villagers were accustomed to their presence, so much so that they often didn't even notice when an elephant passed by. Elephants were like family in this village, yet one day these enormous beings would become part of an unforgettable story. The villagers were careful to stay out of the elephant's way as much as possible. The giant elephants seemed happy with this arrangement and were accustomed to the presence of humans. But one day the villagers encountered a very strange sight. A female elephant was standing in the middle of the road leading out of the village, making quite a noise. She seemed to be trying to get people's attention by constantly waving her trunk. This unexpected situation attracted the curiosity of the villagers, and everyone gathered around to understand what was happening. She was behaving aggressively towards people trying to pass her, stomping her big feet on the ground. The villagers had never seen anything like this before, and naturally, it caught their attention. As people approached, they were met with a sight that deeply touched their hearts. There were tears in the elephant's eyes, and the wet marks on her face showed that she had been crying for some time. Elephants are emotional creatures and can sometimes be observed crying. Especially when family members die or get lost, tears can come from their eyes. This showed that elephants have a deep emotional bond and the capacity to feel pain. This elephant was clearly in pain. However, no one could understand why. The villagers had no idea how to help the female elephant or what to do. After a while, when a small crowd began to gather around her, she waved her trunk as if encouraging people to follow her. Realizing that something was wrong, people started following the elephant. The elephant started to walk towards the wilderness, turning around every few minutes to check if people were still following her. The villagers, with curiosity and a little anxiety, agreed to follow the elephant's trail. The villagers were too curious to ignore what was bothering this poor elephant. If there was anything they could do to help, they were determined to do it. The elephant walked towards the clearing where there was a large well that provided the village's water supply. The well, which normally had a cover on it, was now open. The female elephant went to the side of the well and looked down. The villagers went to the side of the well to understand why the elephant was so sad and looked down too. When the villagers looked into the well, they couldn't believe their eyes. The astonished people felt almost as deep a sadness as the mother elephant. A baby elephant was trapped in the dark depths of the pit. Apparently, the baby elephant had somehow fallen into the water and was in trouble. Fortunately, the water level was not very high. The little elephant could breathe, albeit with difficulty, by keeping its trunk above the water. However, without human help, the baby elephant had no chance of survival down there. The villagers immediately took action. Several men ran back to the village to inform people who knew elephants and had experience with these huge animals. They quickly realized that they needed an excavator to dig a channel for the calf to get out. But there was a big problem. A big storm was approaching, and this storm would bring heavy rain with it. If the rain was heavy and continuous, as meteorologists predicted, it would not only hamper rescue efforts, but also raise the water level in the well, causing flash floods. This would further reduce the baby elephant's chances of survival and require the villagers to move quickly. If the water rose just 1 more meter, the baby elephant would barely be able to breathe and would eventually drown. The men could never accept this. They started working quickly, doing their best. They tried to dig with their hands and primitive tools until the excavator arrived. But progress was slow, and when the excavator finally appeared on the horizon, they also heard thunder in the distance. Time was running out, and the villagers had to move faster. Meanwhile, the mother elephant was anxiously watching the team's progress and keeping an eye on her calf. As the team worked, a veterinarian examined the baby elephant from the bottom of the well. He noticed that the calf had several cuts and scrapes on its body from the fall and was concerned that these wounds would become infected. He managed to apply an antiseptic cream to the wounds. This process probably hurt the baby elephant, but it was necessary to prevent them from getting worse. Before continuing the video, consider joining our efforts to rescue and protect animals. By becoming a member, you can help us save more lives and raise awareness about the importance of wildlife conservation. Even a small contribution can make a significant difference in the lives of many animals. Now is the time to take action and support these vital efforts. As people gathered around, several bricks loosened from the top of the well due to the vibrations as the excavator worked. This made things even more difficult. The baby elephant could be injured or worse. Suddenly, the loosened and broken bricks fell into the well, but the clever baby elephant tried to protect itself by moving its body to avoid further injury. The workers did their best to remove all the loose bricks, which would cause great pain if they fell on the baby elephant. Meanwhile, it started raining heavily. The rain was heavier than the villagers had seen in a long time, but it motivated them even more and made the rescue effort even more urgent. The rescue teams continued to dig tirelessly, but the dry ground beneath them quickly turned to mud, sticking to their shoes and the excavator's tracks. They knew that if the machine stopped, everything would be over. Fortunately, the excavator kept working and the team persevered. After an hour of intense effort, they finally managed to create a channel that reached the bottom of the well. All that remained was to demolish the brick wall of the well and allow the baby elephant to gain its freedom. When the excavator pulled back, the rescue teams quickly descended into the well and began working with hammers. They made a great effort to dismantle the bricks piece by piece. Finally, large cracks began to form in the walls of the well. Sensing that her calf would be freed, the mother elephant excitedly descended from the embankment and tried to help. She pressed her body against the wall, using all her strength to break it. Suddenly, the wall collapsed with a loud noise, freeing the baby elephant. The baby elephant was finally free, but still in danger. The mother elephant had been able to climb the wet and slippery slope with relative ease, but the baby elephant was struggling to get out of the newly dug pit with its little legs. The heavy rain and mud made it even more difficult. With the combined effort of 5 strong rescuers, the baby elephant was pushed up and out onto level ground. The baby elephant quickly ran towards its mother. The mother elephant gently embraced her calf with her trunk and made a joyful sound. Her happiness was clearly visible. The veterinarian took a closer look at the baby elephant and gave it some medicine to relieve its pain. Other than that, it was fine, just a little shaken and with a few scratches. The mother elephant cried out with joy when she was reunited with her calf, gently wrapping her trunk around it and holding it tightly. The baby elephant took refuge in its mother's safe arms, and they began to walk peacefully together in the pouring rain. The villagers watched this moment with a great sense of relief, looking at each other and taking a deep breath. At the end of a difficult struggle, both nature and man had won with solidarity and love. Please don't forget to like the video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to the channel.